Okay, guys. This may be the last time I speak on this topic, but I'm still going to speak on it again. Um, about the whole Humanity Forum and about the whole thing about the exposing of a, I guess you can say he is a, you, I won't, I won't say modernist, but I'll just say that he is one who is doing what he can do at the time, doing what he can do in the times that we're in, basically, creating something for the for the times that we are in. The thing is I talked to the profile about behind Humanity Forum, and he said something that really did not sit right with me, and it just goes on to show that, and I hate to say their names, but I'm going to say their names. It goes to show that guys like Humanity Forum and guys like Habeeb Akande basically condone the Western Muslim woman's bad and unruly behavior, and they put the sole blame on the Muslim man. That's not to say that there, there isn't Muslim men who did do certain things that were, maybe outside of the fold of Islam, or definitely sinful things. That's not to say that they didn't do that. But make a platform, to make a platform in essence like a white knight platform, trying to expose someone when you don't have any dalil that backs your claims is diabolical work, because what you do is you enable women who will say, oh, misandry doesn't exist, women who are Quran only. Believe it or not, there's this one woman who's on there, she's a convert, she's this one white Turkish woman who doesn't believe in the hadiths, who just pushes the craziest narratives ever. And, of course, she, when it comes to the guys who are in the DMs, may Allah help you guys. Have some respect and have some dignity for yourself. But when you do things like that, you enable greater evil. That's the thing. That's my ultimate issue with these people, with Habib Akande, with this Humanity Forum guy. You're in essence making room for another evil. You're in essence trying to make room for another evil, whereas me personally, I haven't used Nikagram, and I don't know about the no strings Nikah. I haven't heard any stories come out. I haven't heard anything come out about those until I hear like a negative story come out about those things. I will not say a single thing. Until people come out in mass, until there's some isolated incidents with these things, I can't really speak on Nikagram. I can't really speak on no strings Nikah. I can't speak on them because I don't have any dalil to speak on. You know, and the thing is that it's sad to say it, right? It's very, very sad to say this, and I'm going to say this. But Habib Akande and the Humanity Forum guy use the same talking points as the feminists, okay? They use the same talking points. They use the same points of, I want to say, even using the word incel when it comes to referring to other Muslim men, okay? There was another guy, and I knew he was gone because why would you even want to put Hebrew on your profile? But this guy put Hebrew on his profile, and he was trying to argue back and forth with me because all what I get, right? Everything that I say pertaining to this whole gender war, pertaining to these whole things, is deriving from scholars in which I'm on the minhaj of. So, for example, um, this is a book of Uthman Danfodio, and he said, you know, there is a guy who was in jurisprudence, fiqh. He said um, that anyone who establishes himself with the aim of supporting justice against the bereaved ones, but without any strong support for that sake, is just deceived unless his efforts conforms with the intent of guiding people towards the right direction with compassion, and also if he channels it with wisdom and applies a good stylistic way of preaching. So yeah, you this Humanity Forum guy making whole 3 hour documentaries exposing someone is counterproductive to what needs to be done. You are in fact enabling without any evidence. You're number one slandering someone. Number two, you're enabling the ills, the social ills of society by not keeping women accountable for the role they have to play or they did play in the way things are right now. This is what you're doing. Even the other day, there was a woman who said this. Wallahi Adim, she said this. This woman said all men are problematic. Okay? She said all men are problematic. So if all men are problematic, that means that the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu salam is problematic. Astaghfirullah billah min dalik. That means his companions were. That means the scholars that brought us the religion are problematic, because she said all men are. And she didn't even say all men of this time are problematic. She said all men. So one thing that needs to be said too is that one has to be very careful and tactical with what they're doing. Otherwise, he's going to be in trouble. And one should be wary of deception and satanic inclinations. Okay? You know, the thing is, in doing this and trying to, for example, win the approval of the opposite gender, you're actually hurting the sincere opposite gender more, because what you're doing is you're enabling those ones who are, you know, advocating for all types of innovation in religion, advocating for liberalism in religion, and things like that. You're not even, for example, you're not even giving the fiqh, the akam of this. Instead, you're saying that one man is wrong, one man is doing this, one man is running an escort service, one man is doing this, but you're not even doing, like, you're not even presenting an alternative to that. For example, if it was me, if I was involved in this thing, if I was involved in this matter, you know what I would do? Hypothetically speaking, let's say that the Nikagram and the No Strings Nikah were bad. Let's say they were bad. Let's say that they were not Sharia compliant. Okay. Me myself, right? Me myself. Me myself. I would say, right? I would say, Okay. Um, I'm going to give a solution by teaching a lesson in regards to what a woman's rights are in terms of marriage and what men's rights are in terms of marriage. And I would base it upon Quran, Sunnah, Ijma, and my school of thought, Maliki. Okay. But also, I would take from the other schools of thought that are that the other schools of thought in regards to their opinions on certain matters, which they, of course, get from the Quran and Sunnah. That's what I would do. But I would not, wallahi, I would not make a whole smear campaign, 2 hour documentaries, 3 hour documentaries sometimes. Exposing someone with no evidence. I would not do that, bro. This would be out of character. This would be the wrong thing. This would be the wrong way to go about doing that. Okay? Um, you know, another thing too that needs to be said. Um, uh, Another thing that needs to be said is that some people do things. Uh, were, some people do things. They say they were doing it for the sake of promoting the religion, but um, the thing is, um, you can't promote the religion by this without any principles involved. And I said, and then, what I'm saying, the reason why I say this is because principles, good principles also derive from objectivity. And if you are, for example, thinking that all of these Muslim women are are just angels, saints, things like that, and not holding the ones account who created the response of Nikagram, who created the response of no strings nikah. If you're not holding them to account, you're a part of the problem, and that is my point. You know, um, uh, that's the thing. Um, this is my whole point in regards to this. And I'm gonna say one more thing about this whole thing. Just give me a minute. Just give me 1 minute. I want to say something else about this matter. Because I notice it, I noticed this about these two individuals. And yeah, Habeeb Akande, he's a great author. He has works that have to do with, like, about great things that can work between couples, right? Between married couples. But, for you to base your whole platform upon the mistakes of a few men, you know, mistakes of a few men, right? Because like a few men, then it's very disingenuous. It's very disingenuous, you know. It's very disingenuous and it's messed up because it makes it look like that you're now like just catering to one demographic, which is, and I hate to say it, but that demographic is part of the reason why there is certain problems that we're having right now. So this is my issue with them, and this is why, maybe I will come back in another video, inshallah, and talk about this issue. I'm going to be observing it and see if it, see if it gets to another level where, they're going, where they finally have their discussion or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna keep an eye out, inshallah, and look at this. But yeah, man, this is not cool. This is not cool at all. And to just like to bash them. For example, and I'll give this last example. Uthman Danfodio, Abdullahi Danfodio, his brother. I have many works on my hard drive that talk about like relationship dynamics that they did and things like that. And I can tell you one thing, and that's another video in itself. That's the thing. I would have to look at so many works. Wallah, wahala, wahala. I would have to look at so many works in because I have so many works about this subject. But uh, but if we were to read about like gender relations pertaining to what they wrote, a lot of the women that Habeeb Akande and this Humanity Forum guy catered to would probably, they would not be able to handle it. It would be too much to handle. And it would be based on Kitab and Sunnah, but of course, most of the time, they would not agree with this, with these things. They would not agree with them at all, you know. But with that being said, Fula signing out. Leave your thoughts and leave your comments in this regards, and I will be back for another one. Inshallah, maybe I should make a video, but then it means I would have to derive so many talking points from the Danfodio works in regards to women that many women would not agree with, but these are coming from scholars. You understand. But anyhow, Fuller signing out. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments on John Armour.